Well, hello, everyone. Lisa, also known as EnergieGal, here in the house, and your host here on the EnergieGal Podcast, where storyteller and listener gather to share, laugh, cry, feel, heal, and transform. Oh, we're real, raw, and uncensored. We are unscripted and unedited. Authenticity, vulnerability are huge surfboards on the ocean of life. So grab yours because we are riding the wave. And we are so jazzed to have you here joining us. So today is February 28th, 2022, episode 3 of the EnergieGal Podcast. Our guest in the house today is my friend, tried and true. He is a musician. He is a father. He is an intuitive, astrologer extraordinaire, a business owner, a brother and son. He is a local dude, an encourager. He is high vibration, love with skin walking around on the earth. So my friends, it is my honor and pleasure to introduce you to the one, the only Jeff Smith.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh my God.
See?
Awesome.
See how much I love you?
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's funny because in some ways we've only known each other a short time, but when I first walked into your shop, I was going through a rough time in that I didn't know which direction to go in. And I can tell you, I have no idea the different times that I've been led towards your shop, towards you. I can't tell you why. It just happened. And I remember coming in for a 15 to 20 minute reading. Never had been read before, didn't know what it was, didn't know what it would constitute. And I think the first time we did astrology, and the second time I think we might have done some tarot. And I loved that you were very love-led. Like I knew when I came in, this wasn't just you going through the business, going through the motions, like you heard me. You could hear my sadness. You could hear my grief and my frustration and what was going on and my lack of clarity. And you were so encouraging, not at all condescending. You met me at my same space and it was safe. And for a Scorpio, trust is a big deal.
Yeah.
And I trusted you completely to be able to lead and guide me. So I want to thank you for that. It's been life-changing for me. And I found myself back a couple of times and now I even just stay. Yep. I'm part of the family.
You're there now.
Yeah, I am Absolutely. Here now. So let's see. Yeah, talking about how our paths crossed. Gosh, I hate to be the one talking, but hopefully in the beginning.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I knew you'd be okay with that, but I got to get you talking because you've got so much to share. I remember when I closed my business a couple of years ago and I felt like it was time for me to get back out there, but I wasn't sure what that was going to be. I ended up seeing a sign that says, room for rent. There was a little space for rent in your part of the building. And I came in, took a look at it. It didn't feel right to me. So I remember walking out to the front porch and standing in front of you as you were sitting there and saying, "Hi, it's me again." And you said, "What's going on?" I said, "I thought I was supposed to be here, but I guess not." And you said, "Oh yeah, you are. Come and follow me." And you ended up taking me all the way back to the center, around, because at the time we didn't have the front and the back connected. Now we do.
Right.
Up the ramp, inside, and you started unpacking for me your dream of this center. And that how I was going to be a part of that. And it was like I was home. I was home. So it's been almost surreal to have been able to find this tribe. And, the best place, because I come from a space where I knew I had this intuitive way about me, but Jeff, I didn't know what to do with it. And to be honest with you, I was a little bit embarrassed about it. Yeah. I tried to keep it under wraps, and you've been very patient with me when I would go up front and say, I think I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I don't want to post. I didn't want to be seen as someone who's, got a weirdo because I sense things or whatever. And I was afraid to step into that God spark in me. And you have encouraged me every step of the way. I mean, I'm telling you guys, if you could know what a brat I've been sometimes. And he's been incredibly patient. So
the thing is with that, Lisa, is that I have been there in that headspace. And when you came in and you would be like that, that was the internal struggle in my head when I was doing this and trying to see, am I fooling myself? Am I really doing this? Is this really where my life is going to go? Mm-hmm. Is this dream? Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm in the same space as you. It's almost surreal.
Yeah.
It's almost too coincidental the way that we met when we met through astrology. So that was our link to each other. And you know a lot about astrology, and you're going to know a hell of a lot more.
I'm excited.
And, for some reason, there was just this connection between us, and I didn't know what it was. I'm like, God, I really dig that chick, and you left. I think we talked for like an hour and a half.
Oh my God. Yes. 15 minutes turned into an hour and a half. Has turned into what's going to be a lifetime.
I don't know what it is about her, but,
Mm-hmm.
And then when you came to look at that space, and I was like, oh no, honey, I got a space for you. And the reason why I jumped at that is because I was initially supposed to take where you're sitting at right now. And I went in there and put in the ladder and was getting ready to paint the exact same color you got. Like, I don't know. This doesn't feel right. This just doesn't. I'm not supposed to have an office. This isn't for me. My place is up in the front. So the center is for everybody else. And the family we got now is unbelievable. Everyone's got a great origin story. We're like really cool Marvel comic.
Yeah, we jive really well. It's amazing.
It's great.
It's really amazing what your intent. Talk to me because. And this will segue into your law of attraction, but talk to me. This didn't just happen. There was intention behind it. There was vision. Unpack what happened.
Okay. Well,
because you started out in front, and that might not even be the beginning of the story.
Right. I mean, if you want to get down to the beginning of it, I have been fascinated with this my whole life. I can't remember a time when I was not reading my horoscopes or reading an Edgar Cayce book. I mean, I'm a teenager reading Edgar Cayce. It's like,
right.
If I wanted to know who the first medium was, who that one popular one, and he had so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I walk around with that knowledge today, still, but I don't know. I was just always been interested in this. And it was always like a hobby. At that time, it was a hobby because you didn't make money with it. You never saw anybody really doing it, and anybody that was doing it was kind of cliche and, and the message is blurred. Right. So I always had this vision that I worked at a spiritual shop in Silver Creek. It was called the Treasure House. It was open for maybe 3 years. And that's where I learned how to do meditation and all of that. And in a local setting with a group of people, kind of like how we are. And I was like, you know what? I want to do this. I want to be able to have a place like this, but I want it all. You know what I mean? And that was always I would always ask my kids, what do you want to do when you grow up? I wanted to pick their brains on where they were creatively and all that. And I would tell them about my story. Well, I would lead by example. Well, I want a spiritual shop where people can go and just feel better when they leave than when they walked in. You know what I mean? In some form or fashion. And that was the story they always grew up with, and now here it is. And I guess when I look at it in retrospect, because you really can't connect the dots going forward, but you sure as hell can looking back.
Sure.
And everything led to me always being poked and prodded. I gave up on it for a while after my divorce and all of that life-changing event stuff, gave up on it, really just gave up in faith in general, no faith. So I was living this mediocre linear life that was unfulfilling. And I just said, well, I shook hands with it. Well, I guess this is it. And stopped using astrology, all of that. And then about 2007, I was introduced to The Secret, and that brought all this back. And I just built the vision. So there was intention. There was a lot of intention. It was always that dream that I had, and I could have had it earlier, but it probably wouldn't have worked. Because I needed to learn these lessons along the way, and I can handle this business now. And it's fantastic. If I can do this, anybody else can. So that's my mission now, is to not enlighten people or anything like that term, but to make people aware that you can achieve your dream. If I can, and I'm living in it, there's no excuse you can throw in front of me that will tell me that you can't do it. Because my biggest hurdle was I needed money to start a business. I opened that on zero money. I had nothing, table and 2 chairs. And now we've got the whole building. That's not a coincidence. That's opening up to it. So in 2007, I opened up to it. I started to, every waking moment, again, was like my childhood. I was just reading about all this stuff and educating and, just living it. And then, I don't know, 2016, 2017, and then here we are. I mean, I just surrendered to it. And that's what I have to do. That's part of the process. Instead of fighting it and questioning it and saying, oh, I need a bank loan. I need a business plan. I need this, that, no, everything just kind of, all I had to do was take the first step. The other one followed. That's the hardest thing you could do.
Having faith. I remember what you kept on telling me, faith over fear, Lise, faith over fear, because I always wanted to see the numbers. I put this out there. I don't think anybody's watching it. You said that's not what it's about. It's about you being obedient to what you're being asked to do by spirit. So do it. Right. How it all unpacks is none of your business.
Right. It's like me opening up on Sundays. I always had Sundays just for classes, or I wasn't open. And I started opening from 11 to 3 on Sundays. And for 2 weeks, it was dead. And I would be standing outside and I'd be like, God, it's dead in the town, today. And I'm just like, no, that doesn't matter. You're here, you're committed, you're doing to what you're doing. There's no way that it's not going to pay off. That next week, we brought in like $800. It was a crazy Sunday, and this Sunday was another record-breaking Sunday. So the point is, if you commit to yourself that you're going to do this, you've already passed 10 hurdles, because you'll always find a reason why you can't. And it's not because people are lazy. It's because they're just misguided in their thoughts. They believe a certain way of living and a certain way of life, and they accept it instead of question it. Or even demand that they deserve more. I deserve more than this. And that's what everybody's doing in the last 2 years. There's been a time to pause, look around and go, I can do better. And they are. Mass awakening. This is why we're all being brought together in this one spot, because we need to guide these people along the way, because a lot of things are going to change. It's going to be harsh for some people, and in some people it's going to be a breeze. But this stuff, I never thought it would become this popular and become this mainstream. So we have to do it justice by doing what it's supposed to do, and that's help people. Make money, that's the reward, but helping people, priority one.
I remember about a month ago when I don't know how it came about, but I started doing tarot readings, and you encouraged me to say, Lise, you're good at this. And I kept it under wraps. I've been doing tarot for a couple of years, maybe 2-3 years, but I never brought that out. And you kind of threw me in the deep end and said, okay, give us all some tarot reading. And so I did, and really enjoyed it. And you encouraged me. And I became part of my very first Bliss. So explain what Bliss is here at the center.
Liz and I came up with this idea. We were sitting on the porch one summer afternoon, and we're sitting there, and I got a yellow pad and my pen. So that's business time, that's making plans and ideas. So we're just sitting there, and we just said it at the same time. Let's combine our services at a discount, and kind of have it almost like a speed dating process where you have 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. And we looked at each other and we're like, Bliss sessions at the same time. So there it was. So we add different people with different specialities to like the menu of that day for a good price. And people walk out of there like, well, blissful. And
blissful.
It does what it's supposed to do. It's great. It's great.
I was part of that for my first one. And the thing that I came away with, Jeff, is that people are coming in. It's not entertainment. It's not entertainment, Jeff. They were coming in for real, deep guidance, encouragement, soul seeking. It was deep. There wasn't anybody there that was just, drinking wine or Prosecco and little cheese and crackers and giggling about it. There were tears. This was serious stuff.
Yeah, it is. And that's the kind of the beauty of it, because we're not that cliche, come get your cards read, that kind of thing. We're not like that. Yeah. This is not entertainment purposes only. This is soul growth only.
Right. It's soul growth. I had somebody say to me the other day, I like getting tarot from you, Lisa, because you make it seem so practical. Like you bring it down to earth.
And that's part of the vision of the center, is you've got to bring this into a practical form. Stop putting it on a level of holier than thou, and you have to go through this level. Right. No, just open up to it. Here's 3 steps. Make it practical. Why do you have all these crystals in here? What does that mean? Everything's vibration, and every one of these, based on their color and their mineral and so on and so forth, give off a certain vibration. Right. It's the same thing with saging. Everything in the center is for you to raise your vibration. That's an important part. Right. And all of those are tools and extensions to help you. But everybody has this ability. So we're on an even playing field already when we say that, because it's true. So we're not, it's pomp and circumstance and all that. You know what I mean? It's just, we're everyday normal people that just got it. Right. Just woke up. We're connected in, we're reconnected to that God spark within. And so everybody can be. Right. And when you're called to it, you either, it becomes a burden, like it was for me for a while, until I just surrendered and said, okay, I guess this is what I got to do. I thought I was supposed to do everything but this. This was always the dream of also being an astronaut, practicality of it right now is ridiculous, but it's happening. It's working. And every day I'm blessed. It's gratitude. That's another thing. We should probably talk about gratitude, because that's the main ingredient. That was the beginning of my journey 12, 13 years ago. When I got to the bottom, I finally woke up one day and I said, this is going one way or the other. Either I'm not going to keep breathing, I cannot live like this, or out of my mouth is going to come gratitude. And I started journaling every day. What can I be thankful for? So, So unpack. It comes down to this. I mean, we're not taught to be grateful. We are, in a kind of like, you better do what you're told. You better say thank you, that kind of thing. That's how people look at gratitude. But, we're always quick to blame the world for our problems. It was this, it was that, and we're never really owning it. So when you own things, you're grateful for them, especially if you have children. When you have children, you understand a gratitude for them, And you just got to take a look around. Instead of being negative about everything that you have or that you don't have, start being grateful for the things that you do have. Start there.
Yeah.
Because the formula is, if you are grateful for what you have now, you continue to get more things to be grateful.
Yeah, you'll have more attracted to you, right?
Because gratitude is right up there on the scale of
Huge.
Love. It
Yep.
just shoots your vibration right
Big
up there.
Big vibration. Mm-hmm.
You are an energetic being. So if you're putting out dismay, loss, disappointment, that is low vibe shit. You will get more of that.
Right.
So it's very important. I'm sorry, I swore.
No.
But it's very important that you either think one way or the other, love or fear. It's your choice. You woke up with that decision one day. You chose love, the highest form. You can't go wrong with that. It's going to test you, but you keep at it and you're going to be grateful for everything. And it starts with a routine in the morning. The best time to be grateful is early in the morning. You're coming out of sleep in a theta state, and you're slowly waking up. Your body just doesn't wake up right away. It's a process. That's the best time to start gratitude. That's what I do. I wake up. I was the person that would have the annoying alarm, 7 o'clock right away, pull the covers off, already sighing,
dragging my ass. Yeah.
And then it just spirals from there. Very angry person. But then I started to, instead of, I would pull back the covers, I would take a deep breath in and another day to do what I need to do, whatever that is. Let's go. So then we do the whole gratitude thing. And then it starts with my surroundings. Thank you for where I live. And I'm stirring my coffee and looking at the pictures of my kids. And I got into this routine. By the time I get to the shop, I am so overjoyed. I'm usually in tears on either the way to the shop or on the way from, because I make it a part. I don't even listen to music anymore. And I'm the one that had the music blaring and all that, but to and from the shop, it's quiet. And I just concentrate on having a great day, serving as many people as I can. Whoever walks in needs it, and we'll leave with it. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to do it. So thank you for letting me continue to do this. The last 4 years have been the best years of my life. And I've had great moments, but I've had great moments not doing what I love doing. Now I'm having great moments doing what I love. And I got to share it with everybody. And the universe brings in people and talent that is obvious, and it's like lightning striking with everybody there. Everybody came in with a lightning strike in some way, and I just sensed it just with you. I always knew that there was some kind of connection, but until this summer, that's where I knew it, all flooded in. It was a big
okay, now that's what this is about.
Here we are.
Yeah.
And the progress that you have made is spectacular, because someone that has been so unsure is on such a sure path now. That's growth, Lisa.
Well, you were very encouraging. I'd make my way to the front from my office, and I liked that you were honest, because I remember coming and saying, it's not happening. And you said, well, Lise, how many days have you been in your office this week? And I'm like, well, if nobody's there. And you said, Lise, it's your job just to show up. It's your job just to show up. You're not trying to trump up business, but you do need to show up. That's what God's spirit, love is asking you to do. You do that part, the rest will come. So I remember committing to coming down here, and I would come down here and I would pray and I would thank, God for this space. And I would thank God for everybody else here. And sure enough, traction started coming, but it was that first step to be faithful in what I couldn't see, but what I believed in my heart and I could feel in my heart. But it took you to fan the flame of that and to remind me again and again, this is who you are, Lise. This is who you are. So I'm just so thankful. I have to talk about our dogs because I can tell you from I was never going to be a dog owner. Oh,
Neither
hell
was
no.
I. Nope.
I changed 5 babies' diapers. I was not going to be carrying around poop around the neighborhood.
Right.
Well, of course, I've got my Gia Furbot, who I adore. She's just fabulous and a great love of mine. And I carry her poop all around the neighborhood. And when I started talking about this, you told me a story of your little puppers.
Right. I was not a animal person. No cats. And I'm a Leo, so I should love cats. I cannot stand cats. I can't do it. And dogs too. I mean, we've always had dogs when we were children, but they were just dogs. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just didn't yuck. I didn't want dog hair or anything, smell a dog in my house, nothing. No pets for me ever. So 2017, again, very profound year. I'm in my yard and I noticed that there's this, I feel like there's presences behind me and I'm reeling up my hose and I turn around and there's this mangy dog staring at me. And I'm like, whose dog are you? And he just took off. And so for about 2 weeks, we've seen this dog running through our yard or standing there staring at me or, I'm like, what is going on? So it was kind of like a joke between the neighbors, like, what's this dog doing? So I was getting ready for a 4th of July party and I was weed eating this little area in my yard. And there's this dog staring at me living in the bushes. And I was like, what? But as soon as the eyes met me, something happened. It was almost like
it's the eyes.
It was almost like in the Grinch when his heart grew,
Yes.
And I was like, I think that dog is living in the bushes here. That's why we keep seeing this dog. Every time I turn around, there he was. So sure enough, you could see it was all matted down and he's been there for a long time. And that month of July, it was very rainy. I mean, we had rain almost every day. And so I said, he wouldn't come out of the bushes. So long story short, my sister is a dog whisperer. And throughout the party that we were having, she was coaxing him out. And he started to come out and reach this point. There's a little hill in my yard. And as soon as he walked over that hill, I said, I can't leave that. I got to do something about that dog. I can't, I got to own that dog. It was automatic, And since then I've had the dog. I went and seen if he got chipped. I, posted it on Facebook. I didn't get attached to him really quick until I found out that nobody claimed him. And I took him to the vet and did all that. And she said that he's probably been on his own since that February.
Oh,
based on his teeth and his nails and all that. And he had a BB gun wound on the side of him.
Oh, poor baby.
We got him all cleaned up and, now he is my Chewy. And
who gazes up at you as if you are God.
and that's the thing. And with that stare comes so much responsibility of, I got to give that right back. He's like a little toddler that never really grows up, which is great for people that, don't want their kids to grow up. Having a nice little bouncy dog like that is the best, but when that dog looks up at me, that is, no matter what you do, I do not judge you. I do not, there's no, because he really can't comprehend it, or maybe he does. But the thing is, he places none in that look, and that is, and you can feel that energy exchange, especially if you really make eye contact. You can feel it in your heart. It's like it's that unconditional love, just like, with children and anybody you love, but for an animal that depends on you to shelter it and feed it and nurture it and clean it and all of that, it depends on you and that unconditional love. No matter what you do, no matter how much of a rotten person you could be during the day, that dog still adores you. That's, You can't buy that. You can't buy that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think I needed to learn that. They always say when you reach a certain level, you acquire a familiar. And that's the way I accepted it, you know.
I never thought about that because I know my puppy picked me right across Facebook. I saw those eyes, that nose that I love to kiss 100 times a day.
That dog,
and I couldn't not.
That's the exact same thing I felt. I was like, this is a reason I'm supposed to have this animal. And I never would have done it. Never. Everyone at the party was like, you can't be serious. You're going to do it, aren't you? But as soon as I was able to coax him into my back door and open it up, I opened the door. I said, do you want to stay here with us? And before that, no tail wagging, very scared, very timid. You know, this dog must have been beat or, you know, a lot of stuff. And as soon as I opened that door and said, do you want to live with us? He started going crazy. He ran through all the rooms, jumped on all the beds, you know, and I'm, you know, what is this dog doing? This dirty dog, you know, and he just stood in the middle of the kitchen with his tail wagging. And everyone was like, again? This is your dog. Yeah, I'm not doing that. And it was like, this is your dog, Jeff. I mean, he's yours. It was supposed to be, you know, so yeah. It went right along with that crazy coincidental step by step.
Yeah.
And it was just part of the process. And now this dog is the third child. My daughter hates to hear that, but it's the truth, you know. He's the baby.
I completely get it. I really do. So
but you know, it's that unconditional love. And you know what? We can also have that for each other. Mm-hmm. But we don't allow ourselves to. It's, you know, being guarded and safe and don't want to be hurt. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you just got to roll with it, you know?
Yeah. And I understand being guarded and not wanting to be hurt and putting walls up, but I'm just not sure how beneficial it's going to be for us in the next season of the journey if we continue to do that. If we can sink into that God spark within us that has a discernment and a wisdom to be able to say, this is a trustworthy, you know, person, or to allow ourselves to be cleansed of our fears so that we are not triggered by people.
Right.
And their situations.
Yeah. The most important thing is trust your energy, trust your gut, trust what you feel, that first impression off of somebody. It's never wrong. You know, it's never wrong. My mom had an uncanny knack for that. I would bring a new friend to the house and she'd be like, nope, I don't know about that one. And I'm like, you don't even know him. And she's like, trust me. Yeah. And sure enough, there it is.
Yeah. Everything is energy. And we're coming more and more to understanding that, aren't we?
Oh yeah. And science is catching up with that spiritual philosophy, you know, and quantum physics and all that is opening up so many doors. And, you know, we know nothing, and that's okay, but we're learning a hell of a lot. And we're getting to this point in consciousness where it's unavoidable, and it's best to just jump on that bandwagon and raise your vibration. It's about time. Everybody, you know, no one wants war and all of this. There's more than enough to go around. And everybody has to understand that, because you have to understand we're taught with lack our whole life. You know, well, you don't have enough education. You don't have enough money. You know, it goes on and on and on and on. But in the reality of things, if you just take a good look at the world around you and how the world operates, the earth itself operates without us, it's abundant. That's what it's all about.
It's creative, and we are creatives. What are we creating? We're all creating our reality. All of us are. It's
Absolutely.
Just what's the reality that you're creating?
Right. And if you want a better world, start with yours.
Right. Create something different then.
Because that is like a pebble that ripples throughout the lake. You know, one tiny pebble can send out huge waves over a course of time, over, you know, a little pond, you know. So you make an impact. You are important to the plan. There's this divine plan that's out of our realm, but trust it. Every
Just
single one of us
like
is here for a reason.
Chewy found you, just
Right.
like you may have shaken hands with your destiny to be someone who is an intuitive shop owner, helping others. It didn't leave you. It just
Right.
came round again and
Right.
presented itself again.
And this time it was like the stakes were high, and all I had to do was to meet that was just to let go, instead of trying to hold that wheel and control it. I said, all right, you take the wheel. All right, universe, let's go. That's probably one of the most profound things you can say. If you want to change your life immediately, just stop and go, okay, you know what? I'm not going to fight this life anymore. All right, universe, give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
Be prepared.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to love it.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't change it for the world. And I keep saying it. Now I'm doubling down on that,
It's a fine example for all of us. I'll tell you, it's been speaking to me wonderfully.
That's the point. That's the point. And everyone around me is in that same vibe, and anybody that's not isn't.
Right.
So you got to find your tribe to vibe in, You got one.
I think the important thing that you said that really speaks to me, if you're not satisfied with the life that you have now, change it. Do something different then.
Right. And the thing that you need to do differently is just not get up and do something. That's part of the process.
Right. Right.
The first step is saying, I deserve it. I deserve it. Allow yourself. A lot of people don't get what they want because they don't think they deserve it.
Right.
So a lot of opportunity is there for them.
Right.
But they're not on that same vibration.
Right. They don't see it. They're not hearing it, feeling it, sensing it, because they're not in that vibration of, this is my birthright. I deserve this. I'm willing to do the work, that comes along with the worthiness of this, expanded life.
What I've learned is that you just have to act like you already have it. That's all. You have to act. You have to have this vibratory state that will match your dream. I always thought you need at least $35,000 to open up your own business, a spiritual business, at least. And that was like,
and the world would tell you that. The world would say that that's the way it is.
Absolutely. And so that dream that's here, I was always here. Don't have enough money. Not going to happen, kid.
Lack.
So when I started to realize that, okay, if I just have to act like it, well, then someday I'm going to have it. No, you know what? I think I'm called to do this. Guess what? F it. I'm going to do it. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm just doing it. Then you meet that vibration. And that's when life starts to take a very beautiful turn.
Right.
Because if I did it, so can everybody else.
Right.
There isn't anything you can tell me why you can't do it. You can't. Because I've told myself every reason not to. And I stopped and just said, all right, let's do it. Don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
So would you encourage someone to really, take a couple of deep breaths and ask themselves what feels right? What feels like a dream of mine? What feels like something that I put on the back burner thinking, oh, I could never do that. Everyone
has a point in their life. And I've known this from all the readings that I've done astrologically and with tarot, is that there's always something in the back of the mind that they're good at, that they tried, and either the timing wasn't right or they lost ambition or whatnot. A lot of circumstances of why it takes you off that path. But it usually starts with childhood. There's a talent there, either with art or music or something. How many musicians have denied themselves the ears to the world simply because they think they couldn't do it? Just imagine the talent that's out there that isn't discovered because people think it's unattainable. We're missing out on a lot that people have to offer. And that's why we're always so quick to think that people add nothing to the experience. And that's because we're always told we can't. You know what I mean? It's just surrender to it. What you've been told is BS. You've got to trust that voice. And there's that, like I said, there's that talent, that calling. They're drawn to something. If it's not computers or mechanics or something. Follow that. Do what makes you happy. I firmly believe that if you follow your passion, you will not fail. If you fail, it's because you got in the way of your progress. That's it.
The 2 points that I love that you made are, it might not have been the right timing. You may have started to do something and you do feel that, but for whatever reason, it wasn't quite the right timing, or everything wasn't quite lined up, or who knows, but don't give up on it. If it's still calling you, then it's still your calling.
Absolutely.
If it's still
God's
calling you, it's still your calling. So continue to have faith and move forward in it.
Yes, absolutely. God's timing is perfect, and the universe provides me with everything I need. I say that all the time, and it works.
And the second point, which I don't know if you made, but you've made to me, is don't worry about the finances of it. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about what other people will think, and don't worry about the finances. If this is your dream and it's calling you, move forward in it by faith.
Right. What you have to do is disconnect from the fact that money. I have to put it this way. Understand the fact that money is an energy form, and you either repel it or you attract it based on your beliefs. If you were born into a certain social level, lower middle class, well, I'm not going to have, I'm not going to have an inheritance or anything. You see what I'm saying? We're already brought into this level of lack. Even when people are born into a rich environment,
they can still
have that lack. So it's either way. But you have to understand that it's an energy form.
It's an energy form.
Because your beliefs, they block it off. Well, I'll never be able to make that much money. I'll only be able to work at Tim Hortons or, shopping, or I have to work 3 jobs and only make bare minimum. That's a belief also. Right.
But
if you allow money, because if you look at money as the abundance of water on the planet, and how it flows, and how you can build it up, and that no matter where it is, it's going to be there. It's going to rain on you at some point. That's the way money is. But you just have to will it.
You said a number of times this word that I like to use in my prayers and times of intention, and that is allowing.
Yes.
So to actually say, I give myself permission to be on the receiving end of every good and perfect gift that God, the universe, has for me. I give myself permission to open myself up to that.
Right. Allowing you. I mean, how many of us allow us to have happiness, love, money? I mean, it all comes down to those categories all the time. But do we allow that energy to flow into us, or do we repel it based on our beliefs? You change your beliefs, you'll change your life. And that's the way it is. I always thought I never made enough money. So I am a broadcasting signal tower. Everybody is. So I'm broadcasting not enough, unwilling, didn't know it, but I was. I was broadcasting that energy, not enough. So I just reversed it and said, I have more than enough. I have more than enough. And today I have more than enough.
I remember when my husband and I started doing that, and we decided we were going to live not by lack or poverty mentality, but by more than enough. We decided every Friday that we would give X number of dollars away. We would find a cause, and we would anonymously gift some money. And it was by faith because it was part of our grocery money, but it very soon began not to be part of our grocery money, because for whatever reason, we started making more money, whether it is he got a raise or I got a few more clients. I can't tell you the number of times that there was exactly a $400 deposit made into our account. We don't know why or who it came from. So we began to experience these synchronicities and miracles that you just couldn't deny. And it was very encouraging for us to live in that space.
It's everything that you have in your life right now was a choice. So even if your life is in total chaos, it's a choice in some way. It's a choice. If there's family problems, that's your choice to focus on that or to feel emotionally connected to that.
Right.
I always feel we got to be in the battle with the family, you know?
Right.
It's things like that. It's a choice. It's a choice to live in a poverty mentality. I know because I was there.
Right.
Now I'm not.
Right.
And it tests me once in a while, but you know, God's timing is perfect. And right up to the last second, boom.
Yeah.
Faith.
Yeah. Faith. That's my word for this year. I always ask for one word for the year, and it's this year, it's faith. Well, you know, here we are, a couple of Scorpios digging deep as we do. So lighten it up by asking you a couple of little personal questions, like, what's your favorite color?
Well, when I was younger, it was blue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, purple.
Yeah, well, purple. I knew that.
It's purple. Yeah, it's definitely purple.
So, Jeff, what's your favorite meal, you fellow Italian who makes fantastic sauce and balls? Oh, my God. Delicious.
That's Nana's recipe. It's not mine.
Thank you, Nana.
I channel Nana's energy every time.
Oh, she's delicious. That was great.
But I don't know, that trying to pin it down to one food is really tough because I'm a foodie, you know.
Oh, are you?
You couldn't tell. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I would guess yeah, I would guess anything Italian.
Okay. I'm there with you.
Do
you have a favorite song, Jeff?
Oh God. That's
you are a musician.
My favorite food.
Yeah, I know. Or a number of favorite songs, or a favorite album, or a favorite genre of music.
See, because I'm a musician, I kind of go through phases in music. Like I'll listen to one person in particular, or I'll revisit a group or stuff from my childhood or whatnot. Right now, it's kind of listening to old stuff that I heard from my childhood. And I think right now, Todd Rundgren, I think I'm saturated a little too much right now, but I don't know. Favorite song? God, good God. That's tough.
That's okay, man.
Really tough.
I get it. Even just having a conversation around it. Favorite place? Do you have a favorite place?
Right now it's my center. I was just talking about that this morning, how it's my day off today, and I've caught myself twice trying to run out the door to go there. And it's like,
and you get one day off. That's all.
Give yourself at least one day off, Jeff, you know, but I was telling Dar today, it's kind of like being gaga over a new lover. You know, you just got to be with them all the time, you know, and when you're away, you feel sick to your stomach, and you know, you just don't feel whole. And that's how I feel.
I don't think that's going to go anywhere soon for you. I think the honeymoon phase might last for years and years.
Yeah, this is the only phase, is the honeymoon phase. It's great.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that you are vibrating at a frequency like, you know, like never before. And
well, I'll tell you, it's fundamental in order for me to keep doing what I'm doing and what we have available. But after a while, it gets really easy. Even if you feel yourself drop. I mean, I used to have these mood swings. Anyone that knows me would say, absolutely. They're less and less. In fact, they're almost gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just have these ups and downs for no reason. I don't go there anymore.
Right.
You know, it's not fun to be a victim. It's not fun to go, oh, poor me. Look at those poor.
Right.
No, this has been a great experience.
Right.
And so far as we know, we only get one shot at this, and I'm taking it by the reins, and because I'm allowing myself to do that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So Jeff, here's a question. What do you think would be your biggest weakness?
Boy, you would think I'd shout one out really quick, but I'm really trying to think. I think it's getting stuck in a bad pattern of things. I got Neptune retrograde in my first house in Scorpio. So
damn.
Yeah.
And so how do you turn it around and make it be something that is a strength?
I change my perception on it. And I do that immediately when I start to feel myself sink. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh, stop, take a deep breath. Okay, let's approach this from a different way. You're starting to go down that road again. You're not doing that, you know, and I'm starting to do that in a mental capacity, but now I want to start doing that in a physical capacity where, you know, I used to run, not as much as you guys do, but I used to run at least 3 times, 4 times a week. And I stopped getting out of that. And I just want to, I want the meat suit to last a little longer because I'm not done yet. So I want to be able to focus on that. And that is one of the bad habits I have. Oh, I'll get to it later. Oh, I just need a nap. You know, oh, these Cadbury mini eggs, I'll just have a few. You know, so that's it. The staying in that pattern and telling myself it's okay, try it tomorrow. You know,
do you think that seeing it is helpful?
Yes. Vision is important. It's the only thing you got. That's what separates us from everything else on the planet is that we have a vision. You know, we can see things in our mind and actually materialize them in our 3D reality. We need to understand that.
Do you think that because you know your astrology chart and you know that as above, so below, and that the things that are going on in the astrological realms with the stars and the planets and all those energies is a reflection of the things that are going on in Earth too, because we're stardust, just like those stars and such? Do you think that you can look at your chart and be able to say, okay, so I can see that this is opportune time for me to get going at a physical regime. It's going to work with me.
Right. Yes, I can do that. And I have done that. And I've noticed that anytime Jupiter comes in my first house, oh boy, I'm putting on 20 pounds. No problem. Right. You know, and be totally cool with it because Jupiter is just
that's like, what's happening. I wish a couple of years ago I had come to you because I was just vexed for those 2 years. But once I knew then how to understand my planetary chart, my natal chart, and the transits that are going on, I can look and see, oh my God, I just needed to just be still and be doing not much. Right. Because there wasn't going to be movement possible. And I was trying so hard to push this really big boulder up a hill only to next morning do it all over again. And talk about vexation. Had I looked at my chart, I could have said, oh, well, now is not the time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Timing's everything. I mean, everything in the universe is working at this fantastic chaotic dance. You know what I mean? We're all part of it. And actually, when we look inside, the same thing is happening on the molecular level, you know? So you just, whether you believe in astrology or not, it's kind of like gravity. You know, it's there, but you can't prove that how it's there. You know what I mean? It
doesn't really matter whether you believe it or not. It's happening.
It's there.
So it's too hard to, now that I know charts and I understand energies and I feel energies and understand that, so much makes sense. And it's hard to deny.
Astrology can be a life changer, you know, and it doesn't, it's for me, I got obsessed with it. So I love it. I love it. I still do to this day.
I love anything that I understand that it's all energy. So definitely astrology is energy. Tarot to me is energy. It's just, intuition is energy, getting with people and seeing and feeling the energies and not, just looking at the outside, but feeling the energies of that. That to me that makes sense.
I feel like this time in this lifetime, I almost feel like in past lifetimes, I've always gotten to a certain spiritual level and kept it to myself. I don't know why, but I feel that way. But this lifetime, I'm here to shout it to the rooftops.
Well, it's funny because my next question is this to finish us up. What are your hopes and dreams for yourself, for our community, the center, and the world at large? Like what's up, man? What do you think's going on? What do you hope for? What do you see? What do you feel?
I feel, and this started right before the coronavirus hit in 2020, that there's a monumental shift happening. No one can avoid it. And anybody can stop right now after I say that and really think about it and go, yeah, there definitely is a change going on. And sure, it looks chaotic, but we've got Uranus and Pluto dancing with each other, and they haven't in a long time. And usually when this happens, this is social uprising,
especially in Taurus, for heaven's sakes.
Right. This is revolution. Yeah. This is changing of the old guard. This is getting rid of old systems and implementing better new ones.
Things toppling.
Yep.
But new stuff being.
We're literally in a battle of good and evil right now, and good is winning. God always wins.
Always.
And people are going to be waking up from this illusion of what America is in their own hometowns, as far as mayors and all that. Everything is just going to change. Everything is going to. There isn't going to be this low vibe stuff anymore. We can't have it. Right. We're the point that we're right. moving through right. in our universe is an uptake in energy and photons and all of that. Look that stuff up. But what we're coming into is this unknown area of our galaxy. Mm-hmm. And we are light. Everything is part of everything. We're not separate from that. So when we pass through this part of the galaxy, mm-hmm. everything's going to change. Everything's affected by it. Mm-hmm. The sun's woken up out of its 11-year cycle. Mm-hmm. And this is going to have an effect on human consciousness. It has. Mm-hmm. Now, you could look that up also.
It already has. Sure. Yeah.
But we're at a point, and that's where I feel like I've been called now to shout it from the rooftops in a practical way that isn't going to cost you a fortune, doesn't make you have to sign up for a membership to get so much. There's so much of this stuff going on. You could scroll through Facebook and see all these crazy ads for this stuff, but we got to make it. I mean, it's like this. Every time we had a meditation group, that energy was helping the community in some mm-hmm. way.
Right.
It's not contained in that little house.
Right.
It radiates out of there.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what I want to do is, if we raise the vibration of the community, then the community's vibration is raised, and everyone that they touch is raised, and it's a domino effect. And then all of a sudden we're at a different point in our lives where we're actually allowing ourselves to be happy and doing what we love. Everybody in the near future is going to be able to do what they love.
Yeah.
Not have to struggle, mm-hmm. because the debt system that we're in is designed for you to do that. Mm-hmm. That's that black mentality. Mm-hmm. Now the gears are switching to an abundant mentality.
Yeah. Yay.
It mm-hmm. doesn't seem like that now, mm-hmm. but I'm going to tell you, 4 or 5 years down mm-hmm. the pipe, mm-hmm. everyone's going to be like, yep, that's when it started.
Right.
So be excited about being alive at this time.
It's a good time to be alive. Yeah.
Because we're about to witness things that we never even thought were imaginable, could imagine. And mm-hmm. we thought we've imagined it all. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think the center's in place here in our little corner of the world here, is because they're popping up all over the place mm-hmm. with the same kind of vision. Mm-hmm. And that's the next phase, is to get on board mm-hmm. and to make this available to people. Mm-hmm. That's all. We're here. Yeah. That's it.
Right.
And you'll be amazed at what you walk out with, because mm-hmm. everybody that's walked into that place at some point or another walks out very different and in a good way. Mm-hmm. It's mm-hmm. fantastic work we're doing, Lisa. I'm mm-hmm. really proud of you.
Thanks. Well, I'm thankful for you, Jeff, for your fine example of faith and just your constant encouragement and reminder of who I am and to not doubt myself. So I'm thankful.
I mean, who thought we'd be doing a podcast right now? You know what I mean? It was like pulling teeth with you to even get the idea or anything. You're just rolling with it, sister. Do it.
Thanks.
Do it.
Thanks. So you've got lots of crystals. You've got,
Yes.
do you have any, I know you've got your law of attraction class that people can get to. What's the site? I'll link it below, but how do they get to your law of attraction class?
Okay. The introduction to the law of attraction class with me is available online. It's on, I believe now I put it as a product on Facebook. So you can also get it on there on our page of Circle of Light Spiritual Center. And it's also on the website, circleoflightportal.com.
Okay.
So it's available there. You just go to online classes, choose the class, boom. You have 30 days access to it. And
I took it and it's awesome.
I'm proud of that.
You should be. It was articulate. It was easy to understand. It gave practical application, feet on the ground. Now do this, now do that. But you also backed it up with, and here's the science behind it, why, and examples. And it was awesome.
That's the thing, that's the direction we're going with the center too, is we're not going to have these crazy, outlandish, expensive classes. We're going to have intro to bare bones. How can I use this to apply it in my life? Yep. And we all have something to bring to the table. And, we're going to have a huge class roster coming up, where everybody's just doing all these intro classes in some respect and giving the science behind it in some form or the other.
Right.
It's not woo.
No, it's not. I'll tell you, I learned that at that Bliss class, that Bliss that I was part. This was not woo. This isn't a parlor trick. No, this was life. This was
I'm that person that would never dedicate their life to something that's a parlor trick or some, superstitious, anything like that. I got to know what makes it tick.
Entertainment purposes. This was not.
And if it works for me, and everyone that is there is doing something on some kind of therapeutic level that's not just going, well, it's good. Looks like it's going to be a good year. Or everyone on the other side says hi and everything's fine.
Right.
What they're saying is you've got issues with your father and that's why nothing's going right with your life. And this is how we can work.
Right. So let's work through this to get you through to the other side, get your breakthrough and get you living the life that you came here to live because you're worthy of it.
We're dragging so much baggage through our lives. And if we just let it go, we get propelled to move faster and in a better direction.
Yeah. The opportunity is there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh.
So much to give, so much to offer, so much to hear, It's like, it's amazing. And that's another, I'm getting teary-eyed moment because we're just stepping into this energy, and we're learning along the way and it's going to be fantastic. I love it.
It's already, it's going to be it's a party, man. It's a party to get up in the day. I remember going through difficult times in my life and waking up, as I've told you, and thinking, well, shit, I'm still freaking here. And to get to the point where I just can't wait to get up. I don't even need to set an alarm because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm still here. And just to feel the magic, the high vibration of love and healing that exists in this space, and then to know that I'm taking that to Walmart and I'm taking that to dinner and,
Right. And that's the thing. And it's a great thing to step into what you're called to do. And a lot of people might think, well, I'm not being called to do anything. Stop the chatter in your mind, quiet it for a little bit, and you'll hear.
Here's what I would suggest. If you don't believe that you're called to do something or you don't know what your passion is, get a hold of Jeff.
Somebody find theirs. Oh yeah. And get a hold of me.
Get a hold of Jeff.
Another thing you could do is help somebody find theirs, but yes, get a hold of me also. That's a good one.
Because I'm telling you, it's helpful to have someone who has been there, done that, and is clearly gifted at it and has spent the time with spirit and is at that vibration and is generous with the truth. Yeah. which is not necessarily
no fluffing
no
allowed.
Fluff. You don't get any fluff.
Center.
No fluff with Jeff. No. So appreciate Jeff. I appreciate you sitting in the chair for me. And sharing your insight. You know, I have to remind people is that when we get to be around people like Jeff, it's not just the words that he's sharing with us, but he is sharing a vibration. He is sharing an energetic transmission that he has earned through his life and is sharing it freely with all of us. If you are listening, you are raising your vibration. Even if all you heard was it's the energies that he is sharing from his heart to our hearts, and we are the better for it. So my brother, thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa. What a pleasure.
Yeah. So folks, this is our story for today. Thank you for joining us. It's been an honor, dear listener. Remember that you also have a story to share, for we are all both teller and listener. You know, something magical happens, alchemizing. I think we all felt it today when we open our hearts to listen, when others open their mouths to storytell. It's like this mystical bond that connects all of us into community through this ancient holy practice of sharing. Somehow we become knit together or wake up to remembering that we already all are one and that we are loved. If there's someone that you would like me to have in the house to offer their story, please connect with me and let me know, because I would love to offer them an interview. And finally, thank you again, my friends, for your presence here and participation at the EnergieGal Podcast, where storyteller and listener gather and to meet for transformational conversations. So till next time, let's all laugh loudly, love deeply, and hug daily, because life is meant to be experienced fully. Yeah. So now knowing this, what will you do with your one wild and precious life? Certainly, let's talk about it. Take care, everyone.